You know, in just about every sport, there's a skill that's so fundamental, so important, that it kind of hides in plain sight. Today, we're talking about one of those in baseball, the art of running the bases, and how getting it right can be the secret key to winning it all.
So, let me just ask you, when you think about what wins baseball games, what's the first thing that comes to mind? Is it towering home runs? A pitcher throwing 100 miles an hour? Well, what if I told you the most decisive skill might be one we barely ever talk about? Just let that sink in for a second. That is a heavy, heavy statement. We're not talking about a bad bounce or a star player in a hitting slump. We're talking about base running. This one quote just perfectly sets the stage for how high the stakes really are when it comes to those 90 feet between the bags.
To really get the impact, we've got to look at one of those moments. You know, a championship hanging in the balance, where every single move you make is under a microscope. 3. That's the number. And this wasn't just one freak accident or a fluke mistake. No, this was a pattern. 3 separate, totally avoidable errors on the bases that just unraveled their biggest moment of the season. And that's really the whole point, isn't it? When you get to the postseason, you can't just hang around waiting for someone to hit a 3-run homer. The games are tight, the pitching is unbelievable, and winning usually comes down to who does the little things perfectly. That tiny, razor-thin margin, that's where base running lives.
But look, this isn't just a story about one team's bad luck. It actually points to a much bigger issue that's happening all across the sport.
And here it is. This is the heart of the problem, and it's summed up perfectly by coaches who are in the game every day. The very thing that can make or break a championship run is the one thing being ignored the most. It's a massive blind spot.
I mean, come on. We live in an era of analytics, and we love the flashy numbers, right? We're obsessed with exit velocity, how hard the ball jumps off the bat. We go crazy for pitch velocity. We build entire teams around hitting home runs. But while we're so focused on all that, the fundamental game-changing skill of just being a smart base runner, it kind of gets forgotten.
So why should teams start reinvesting in this forgotten art? Well, because it has one quality that almost nothing else in baseball has. It's consistent. It's a weapon you can rely on day in and day out.
In this quote from Hall of Fame coach Jim Gant, it's just perfect, because it's absolutely true. A great hitter can have a terrible day and go 0 for 4. A dominant pitcher can lose his command. But a player's speed, that shows up to the ballpark with him every single day. It's always there.
You can really see that idea right here. Hitting. It's a roller coaster. Some days you're hot, some days you're not. But speed is a constant. It's a reliable tool a team can use in every single game, no matter who's on the mound.
And when you've got a weapon that's that consistent, you can use it to create these small, repeatable advantages. You start to win the margins. And in baseball, winning the margins is winning the game.
This brings us to this really cool concept, free 90s. Think of it like this. Every time a runner is smart and aggressive and takes an extra base, they are basically gifting their team 90 feet of progress. It's an advantage they created out of nothing but hustle and baseball IQ.
So how do you get these? Well, it's not just about raw speed. It's about being smart. It's that runner on first who reads the ball into the outfield and immediately thinks, I'm getting to third. It's the player who steals third at just the right time, so now all you need is a fly ball to score. These plays don't show up as a hit in the box score, but they are just as valuable.
And here's the bottom line. All these free 90s, they add up. They're the plays that turn a simple single into a run on the board. And in those super tight 1 or 2 run games we've been talking about, these seemingly small gains are everything. They are literally the difference between a win and a loss.
So if base running is this important, what's the solution? How do we fix this problem? Well, it all comes down to coaching and a real shift in priorities.
It's really a simple 2-step path. First, coaches have got to put more emphasis on it. Stop treating base running like something you do for 5 minutes at the end of practice. And second, you have to create accountability. Players need to be held to a high standard for their decisions on the bases, good and bad, just like they are for anything else they do on the field.
And that kind of leaves us with one final thought. Whether you're a coach, a player, or just a fan, in this relentless race to win, it's so easy to focus on the big, spectacular moments. But maybe the hidden game, the one that's played in those 90-foot chunks, is where championships are really won and lost.